Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to present the new British tier 6 wheeled medium tank, the Staghound. How good is this tank and can it compete against regular medium tanks on its tier? Let's find out in this video. So far, we have taken a look at the tier 7, tier 8 and tier 9 tank of the new British wheeled medium tech tree line. If you haven't watched those videos yet, feel free to do so. I will link them in this video starting right here. In my opinion, they are all pretty weak and rather below average. The tier 9 tank even has a below average spotting ability. But how does the tier 6 tank perform? Can this tank close the gap between a medium and a light tank? Let's find out in this video. But before we start with the first game, I want to show you how I play this tank. So I play this tank with improved ventilation, with coated optics and with an exhaust system. And so this gives me a slight boost of all my abilities with ventilation. In my opinion, I do not need a turbo because the mobility of this tank is great anyway. And with ventilation and with coated optics, remember I do not play my tanks with premium consumables whatsoever, I achieve at least 473 meters of view range, which is okay for a tier 6 medium tank. Plus, the exhaust system actually gives my tank a stationary vehicle camo of 31 and a moving vehicle camo of 26, so I can pretty much play this tank not only as a medium support tank but also as a spotter. Now keep in mind I am still working on my camo values, so my commander does have brothers in arms just like the other crew members, and it is now working on both of the view range skills. Now the gunner does have snapshot and is now working on concealment, and the driver has the smooth ride ability and is now working on concealment. This is my second crew of those British wheeled medium tanks, and I have to say that due to the mechanics that you get significantly slowed down once a wheel is hit, you pretty much want to have repairs skilled on your tank so that this time in which you are very vulnerable is reduced to the max extent. This is not the case on my tier 6 tank, and on tier 6 the punishment is not so quick and not so frustrating like on top tier tanks, but nonetheless that is a word of caution that I want to give you. So you want to train concealment if you want to play this tank as a light medium hybrid, but then you also want to train repairs as soon as possible. And yeah, so this is how I play my tank, and let's now see how this little tank can perform in World of Tanks. Alright, here we are in the first game with the Staghound. We are spawning in a tier 7 matchup, so we are in a low tier situation. And you know, the thing about the Staghound is, in my opinion, it is one of the best tanks in this tech tree line of the British wheeled medium tanks. The Staghound, in my opinion, doesn't offer a distinct, let's say, advantage over other tanks. It is a jack of all trades, and you can clearly see what I mean when we take a look onto the statistic. So if we quickly compare the Staghound to its brothers on tier 6, so first of all to the Cromwell, to its direct British medium brother, because this tank is overall a fantastic tier 6 tank, to the VK3002M, because I think this tank is an excellent sniper and an overall solid tank, to the T3485, because this tank is overall still one of the best tier 6 tanks in the game, and then to the Boogie, because in my opinion, when I played the Boogie, I was pretty convinced that this tank is also super strong on tier 6. So as you can see, this tank has a pretty decent DPM, slightly worse than the Cromwell, but the Cromwell is worst in class, and so yeah, the DPM of this tank is overall excellent. Now the penetration is a bit lackluster, to be honest, and so is the alpha damage. So all the other tanks are better, even the Cromwell, but that's just how it is. Now, the shell velocity is not superb on any of those tanks. That's just a problem of tier 6, and that's just how it is. Now, look at the aim time. So this tank has the best aim time in class, alongside with a good dispersion, only slightly worse than those other sniping tanks. But look at the dispersion values when moving or when turning the tank or the turret. This is best in class, and overall this is why the gun handling of this tank is so good on tier 6. Now, speed wise, as you can see, this tank has the best power to weight ratio alongside with the Cromwell. It is slightly less mobile, it has a slightly less top speed, but overall the mobility is superb and much better compared to the other tanks. So the armor, well, nothing to say here. This tank does not have any armor. However, in my opinion, this is not a problem because the other tanks do not have enough armor to bounce shots anyway, and so the less armor you have, the more mobile your tank is, and I think this is an advantage on tier 6. Now take a look at the camo value. So this tank, alongside with the Cromwell, does have the best camo value on its tier, at least compared to those tanks. Plus 360 view range is not the best value in class, however a standard one. So when it comes to spotting ability, this tank once again shines alongside with its British brother on tier 6. Yeah, so the Staghound is, in my opinion, maybe the best tank tier for tier of this British tech tree line. And overall, I have to say I'm a bit disappointed of this new British tech tree line. But the Staghound, once again, is a pretty decent tank in my opinion. It is far from being overpowered. I wouldn't go so far to say that it is... I think it is on the average to slightly above average side. Maybe it is above average. It is an okay tier 6 tank, and as I said, it is a jack of all trades. Okay, so we are proceeding to the south into this bush because we can make use of our spotting ability. Now, those British wheeled medium tanks, they have a very bad tank traverse. However, the forward and the rearward speed is great. So if you enter such a bush, what you want to do is you want to simply exit this bush to the rear. Okay. Oh, I donked this shot. Sorry. And you do not want to turn around your tank because that takes quite some time, as you can see. Okay, so our tanks are advancing. Fortunately, artillery misses me, and the adversary team is making pressure here at the very important position down at the H9 ditch, which is worth fighting in my opinion. And I think the southern portion of this map is the one that you want to win in order to have a strategic advantage in the game and in order to win the battle. Okay, the good thing is 2 of our heavy tanks are now pushing out those medium tanks, and against two top tier heavy tanks, those tanks do not have a chance. So we can re-push this this important position, and we can take out, bam, this tank. Nice. And so after 3 minutes into the game, or 2.5 minutes, we have won this strategic position. Excellent, with the help of our heavy tanks. Now, if you see those slow tanks pushing the strategic position, of course, they will not arrive at this position as quickly as the fast tanks in the game, for example, the Staghound. But this gives you the chance of re-pushing this position. You simply have to make sure that you do not get taken out at the beginning. Alright, so 2 more shots. As you can see, the reload time is superb. The alpha damage is lackluster. However, if you can, if you know how to use your DPM, then this tank can work for you. Alright, as you all know, if you've watched my videos, on this map, if I want the southern ditch, the southern strategic position, I like to push around in this position in order to keep spotting the adversary tanks. So let's see, here we go, there's another tank, there's the heavy tank number 6. Oh, okay, that was unfortunate. Okay, nice. And here, this is a typical situation in which I can make use of my DPM. Okay, he's turning around his tank. Let me see. I do not want to be exposed for too long, because the Nason, yeah, okay, this is what I expected. is able to take a shot onto me, so I need to fall back and make sure that I am not spotted anymore. Okay, this tank is taken out. Excellent. Can I get a shot onto the RT? Now the game is 1-7-2. Now it is a question of how much damage can we get in this game, and we really need to make sure to advance in order to make more damage. So far 700, here you go. So far 700 damage. Okay, I'm spotted. Yeah, I need to fall back. Maybe I get some assisting damage now. Here you go. Oh, unfortunately, I don't get the spotting damage, most likely because the Panther M10 also spotted the M2Y also spotted those tanks. Okay, so there are quite some tanks, and I do not want to throw away my tank because after all, the Staghound, just like other tier 6 tanks, does not have too much HP, and so with only a couple of shots you can be taken out by adversary tanks. Okay, so let's see, here go. I'm spotting this tank. I need to hurry up so that he cannot take a shot onto my tank. Nice, and yep, I get a shot by the T-78, so I need to fall back into cover. Looks like the Italian tank destroyer has been taken out, so I achieve 1300 spotting damage or assisting damage, which is excellent. And now the T-78 is focusing me. I'm one-shottable because there's 240 alpha damage, and so I want to simply wait behind this corner, and maybe I can take him out as... Okay, he's taken out. I wanted to take him out as soon as he peeked around the corner, but this is not needed anymore. Okay, and now hopefully those two heavy tanks are full HP, and then I want to use my speed to hurry up and to get some more damage from those tanks. Nice, the KV-2 is still full HP. This is nice. And as you can see, the top speed, yeah, this tank is quite mobile for a tier 6 tank. And yeah, overall, I think the advantages of this tank are speed, DPM, camo value, so spotting ability. And I think this is enough. This is all you need in order to perform great on tier 6. Okay, I do not want to eat a shot from the KV-2. Nice, and now as he has shot, I can move out of cover, take a shot, and now fall into the rear of this tank, and then get one or maybe two additional shots. Okay, perfect. All right, one more shot, and so yeah, overall, I think a pretty decent game. In the end, I made about 2.1k, what is it, 2.1, 2.2k damage, and 1300 assisting damage, and I think a decent result in the Staghound. Alright, second game. This time we are in a top tier situation. We're spawning on Berlin, so let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on Berlin in the east. This is how the map usually develops, how the game usually develops. And with the Staghound, just like in most of my other medium tanks or light tanks, I like to go to the middle. I do not rush into this little bunker here because I do not want to get pushed out, but instead I go to this bush or maybe to this bush here in order to spot those tanks which are approaching those positions. In my opinion, you can be safe here in the middle. Plus, if you do not have hull down capabilities, then playing on this flank is pretty difficult. Plus, from the middle, you can either proceed to the south if that is needed. You can also go into this ditch and make pressure here. Plus, you can also go here and defend the heavy lane once the heavy tanks are trying to push. Plus, you can then proceed to the north and try to help your team to win the heavy lane. So let's see how the Staghound can perform in a top tier situation. And the first thing I have to say is, in a top tier situation, the low alpha damage is not too much of a problem because the low tier tanks, the tier 5 tanks, in general do have a weaker alpha damage, or in this case a comparable alpha damage, and so this is not too much of a disadvantage. So as I said, I like to go to the middle in order to spot those tanks. As you can see, they didn't even spot me, which is excellent, and maybe I get some assisting damage right from the get-go. And then I like to go into this bush. Notice how I reverse into this bush, because yes, the rearward speed is high, relatively high, but the forward speed obviously is faster, and so if I want to exit the bush as soon as possible, I have to put myself rearward into the bush so that I can exit the bush as soon as possible. Now, also notice how I went into the bush. Let me see if I can get one more shot. Notice how I went into the bush and then instantaneously fell back because I want to check out whether I get spotted when I enter the bush. The worst thing you can do is to just enter a bush and then keep sitting there. Meanwhile, get spotted, but as Sixth Sense comes on after 3 seconds, you will be shot by the adversary tanks, and so that's what I want to avoid. And so I instantaneously moved out of the bush after I drove into it. Okay, I think this is an excellent bush because as you can see, you have quite you can achieve quite some spotting in this bush because it's a very central position. And yeah, so far we managed to get 887 spotting damage. Now the problem is that our heavy tanks are losing the heavy lane. Here you go. If you fully aim in your shots, then you can even snipe with this tank. And this is something that you have to do in British, I mean, in general, you should try to fully aim in your shots whenever possible. But this especially applies for British medium tanks. Not only for the Staghound, also for the Cromwell, also for the Centurion, and also for the Centurion Action X. Let's finish off this tank here. Go, bam, and now this position here is clear of adversary tanks. Oh, take a look at the tank traverse. This is so bad, and it is a tremendous disadvantage of those British wheeled medium tanks, and this is true for all those tanks, for the tier 5 tank, for the tier 6 tank, for the FSV, for the tier 8 tank, and also for the GSO and also for the Concept 5. This is simply a disadvantage of those tanks. Okay, meanwhile, maybe we can take out this tank. No, but okay, it gets taken out. Excellent. And now the game is won, and now the question is, how can we do more damage? In my opinion, the best thing we can do is to go to the heavy lane and fall into the rear of the heavy tanks, the KV2 and also the KV1. Let's first of all get rid of this tank. Or no, actually, no, that's not what I'm going to do, because I don't want to eat shots like those tanks are doing right now. I simply want to fall into the rear of the KV2. That's an excellent target because the turret traverse is so slow, and alongside with my DPM I can maybe get a couple of shots into these tanks. Okay, okay, that's a bad situation. I'm spotted, of course I'm spotted, and I take shots by the Italian medium tank. Notice how the speed is significantly reduced as soon as my wheel is damaged. Now, compared to the tier 7 tank, for example, this tank only has 2 wheels on each side, and so those wheels take like I don't know, maybe 30, maybe 40% of the side of the tank. So the chances of getting slowed down once I take a hit are slightly reduced compared to the tier 7 tank. For example, if you get hit by the in the tier 7 tank from the side, then you will be slower. You will get slowed down simply because your wheels will be hit. And this is an excellent result. Yep, nice. Okay, so one more shot. Here you go. Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. 1300 damage. Now it's time to take a shot at the... Okay, here you go. I need to fall back. I need to take a shot at the T1 Heavy. And I think I should... Okay, the KV1 has turned around. That is bad for me, and I need to relocate. Let me see. Alright. You know what? I think I can take a shot onto this thing from the side. Excellent. And yeah, hitting the huge turret of the KV2 is not a problem whatsoever. Okay, so now I want to fall into the back of the KV1, I guess. But I need to make sure that I don't get spotted. Ah, here you go. Okay, he's turning around. You know what? I want to turn around and now take a shot onto the KV-1. Okay, and I need premium ammunition. Oh, unfortunately he... Okay, now he's taken a shot, so I can use the reload of the tank in order to get a shot. Hopefully I will be first. Here you go, bam. Okay, I can get the kill. Nice, 1500 damage. And now I will simply keep... here you go, keep the premium ammunition in order to reliably pen this. Okay. Yeah, 0.36 accuracy is not the best if you want to reliably... Oh, nice, I bounce a shot. And I get another shot. And can I get the kill shot? No. But you know what? 1600 damage, 1100 assisting, so 2.7 combined in a tier 6 tank is an excellent result. And you know what? Let me now show you what this tank can achieve in a low tier situation. Alright, third and last game. This time we're spawning on Outpost, as I said, in a low tier situation, so in a tier 8 matchup. But let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on Outpost in the north, this is how the game usually develops. And with a tank like the Staghound, you have multiple options. You can first of all use your mobility and try to rush the central position right here, because this is a very strong position from which you can spot most portions of the map. You can go here and try to prevent enemy tanks to push to this position, but you can also go, let's say, to the south and try to advance here, although this is a kind of a death zone from which you can be shot here from all of the positions in the middle. But you can also go somewhere here and try to conduct spotting against the adversary tanks. Alright, so I think this is the perfect example to explain why I play this tank like a light medium tank hybrid. I play this tank with an exhaust system to get the decent camo value, and in this situation it really pays off, because I mean, what do you want to do if you are in a low tier scenario with 135 alpha damage? Nothing. And with the pen, which is not sufficient even to pen tier 7 tanks reliably. So in this situation I want to rely on my spotting abilities, and as I have set up this tank like a spotter, this is what I can do even in a top tier situation. It makes my tank so much more flexible. So as a light tank, and then now in this game where there is no light tank, I would like to, I like to take over the light tank role. I like to go into this bush. Now, as you can see, the adversary tanks know that you are in this position, and so you have to frequently here and then fall back to the rear of the house in order to not get blind fired by the adversary tanks. This is what you need to do. Here you go. Can we take one shot onto the KV-2? Here you go. And we even hit this tank. Nice, and make some damage. And I'm not spotted. You know what? I will take a shot onto the KV-1. And if you lead your shots, then you can even hit your shots over a greater distance. Nice. So 497 damage at the beginning of the game, and already 718 spotting. You know what? I would say this result is decent enough in order to get a, let's say, a standard round on a low tier, in a low tier game. So far it's not perfect, but we are working on it. In this position, the good thing is you can spot all those tanks which are trying to go on top of the hill. As you can see, I want to fall back because I'm expecting the T-44-100 to take a shot into this bush here, and only now he's falling back. So now I want to, okay, let's see, I need to take a shot onto this tank, bam, so that he is hopefully taken out soon in the game, because another tank in a bush is dangerous for us. And so yeah, I think so far the game is going pretty nicely. Looks like our team is not super strong at the heavy lane. However, they just took out a heavy tank, plus the Tiger P and the IS are not playing the typical heavy tank position. The problem is that those tanks are now, okay, pushing the KV-1S, and so once they appear at the top of the hill there, they will spot me in my bush, and so I need to relocate. Okay, maybe with some crossfire we can take those tanks out. So I want to use my mobility, flank those tanks, and then maybe I can even use my standard ammunition in order to get shots onto those tanks. That's my desire, so let me see how it goes. And with this tank you can basically very easily fall back into cover, and nice. Yeah, okay, as you can see, the damage is so small, the damage output per shot, but the DPM is good. And so in such a situation what you want to do is you want to get at least 2 shots. And I mean, keep in mind, if you do 2 shots, whereas, for example, a tier 8 tank could only have dealt 1 shot, then your alpha damage is pretty competitive in my opinion. So, okay, I want to relocate once again. Let me see. Okay, can we get a shot onto the Hellcat? No, we cannot, but I think I should try to go here. Okay, the T-44-100 is taking a shot onto me. This is not what I want to see. And the question is, what can we do? Now, okay, maybe I should make pressure at the south and help my team to win the southern side of the map. Maybe this is the best gameplay I can do. So let me see. Do I get spotted? Okay, I spot the Super Hellcat, okay. Plus, okay, that's not what I want to see. I need to close the distance to the T-44-100. Hopefully he doesn't drop down. Meanwhile, I get all the sweet assisting damage, which is nice. And now I want to... Okay, maybe keep him spotted with the render range distance. But I think it is now time to fall back until I'm not spotted anymore, and then move into the rear of the T-103 and the T-34-85, because those tanks are all low tier. The problem is the game is really close, but I think if I can take out those tanks, then I can make the difference in this game and we can win the game. Okay, okay, that is too bad. Okay, I'm spotted now. That is not what I wanted to see, and hopefully my tanks now help me and also push the southern flank. The T-44, yep, now takes a shot onto me. Most likely he misses. Excellent. And so I can take out this tank. I might be able to take out the other tank. And so here you go. Nice. That is what I wanted to see. Nice. And now I get taken out, which is fine. But now I made the way for our tanks to push the southern lane, and I think soon they will get rid of the T-34-85. Here you go. And now I think the game is won with my move, and I think it was the correct gameplay to push the south. So all in all, 1070 damage, 2500 spotting and assisting damage, and I think this this game really showed the capabilities of this tank. If you play this tank with an exhaust system, which makes this tank so much more flexible, because you can not only be the supporting medium tank, which helps out your team with your high DPM and your relatively precise gun, but you can also be the spotter in a scenario in which there's no light tank in the game, or in which all the light tanks are already dead, which happens quite often in World of Tanks. This is also possible not only in a tier 6 match, of course, but also in a low tier situation like this, and this is why I play this tank in this niche, I would say, because it makes the tank so much more flexible. The speed helps out no matter if you want to play this tank as a spotter, but also if you want to be the medium support tank, because you can quickly change positions, change flanks, and as you saw in this game, this really helps out. So all in all, in my opinion, the Staghound is one of the strongest, if not the strongest tank, tier for tier, in this British wheeled medium tech tree. Alright guys, that was it for today with the video about the new tier 6 British wheeled medium tank, the Staghound. Do you like this tank? Do you like the new British wheeled tech tree line in general? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Consider subscribing to my channel, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.